Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into round... Wow, this camera's in a terrible spot. I don't know what the hell I am doing. Welcome to round number 8 of the 2016 Ride365.com Nationals, powered by versus-pc.com from Millville, Minnesota. Spring Creek, the Spring Creek National, is on the agenda for tonight. My name is Kellen Brauer here on Star Your Systems TV, and we are so glad that you guys have chosen us for your streaming duties tonight. We know you have almost no other options, but you know what? The fact that you're still here means a lot to us. So hopefully we can bring you guys an absolutely awesome event. We will get the 250 consolation race going here in just a minute. I just had a word with race coordinator for the night, Mr. Race Carlin, and he's getting everything set up to go. Michael Wheeler out of town this week, so I'm assuming that things might run a little bit slower this week. Usually, like, Race does a great job, no offense to him whatsoever, but Wheels is a little bit more on top of his game usually, so Race a little bit behind this week probably. So you can expect 450 UID grab to be roughly 10 minutes later than where it actually would be, which is 7:40 p.m. Pacific, that's 10:40 Eastern time. And then I'd imagine once Hinders takes over the 450 stream, everything will be pushed back about 10 minutes to 20 minutes, and we might end up about 20 minutes behind schedule tonight. But regardless of which, we're still going to be here the whole time. I will be broadcasting the 250 consolation race as usual and right into the 250 motos. Those guys run 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos back to back. There's about a 5 to 10 minute break in between. Then we will cut the stream just for a quick moment. Hinders usually jumps in TeamSpeak, and we just do a quick switch. He takes over the stream, and then he takes over for the 450 consolation race and the 450 motos after that. So Hinders down on the track right now, getting ready to do the 250 motos. I will be taking part in the 450 motos later, but regardless of which, we are ready to bring you guys a fun night of racing, and looks like the call-in chat has already been made to get this consolation race underway. There is no warm-up lap for this business, unless UID grab hasn't happened yet, but I assume Carlin did that before this, or it might be UID grab. I don't know. We might all be on the line here, so we shall see. This might be, I could be mistaken, but this might be the first time Mr. Race Carlin has done a UID grab, and I'm going to take a look here. It looks like pretty much everybody that's supposed to be in the consi is here. Let me just, yeah, 250 motocross consi. Looks like it is all fine and dandy. Just about 15 runners lined up for us tonight. And before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and turn up my sound up, just so you guys can hear the bikes. You can't really hear them right now because they're way on the other side of the track. And once that gate drops and they come towards the camera, they'll get louder as per usual. We're off and running in the 250 consolation race tonight. A couple of fast names in this one. Seems to be the 146, the Stefan Guido, Dominic Tiberino, who looks like he almost had the whole shot but slid out. We've got Alex Cunningham, who did come through and take the whole shot, but he's got Guido and Tiberino right behind him. Guido down on the inside, and he held up a few people, including Alex Carlo. And I just saw Mr. Moto Agogo in there. He's running third right now. I want to do a quick shout out to Moto Agogo while we have the chance, and he's running up front, as he's already looking quite well here in third. But you can catch his amateur live streams. Those happen every Sunday night after the races that we see here, which is the pro live stream of the pro races each week. He does the amateur. He actually hosts the amateur event and streams it, so he's a man of many talents when it comes to putting these events on for us. So cool for him to always be on the ball with doing that. But the point I wanted to make about him this week is that he hit 2,000 subscribers on Twitch this week, which is pretty badass. Full-time Twitch streamer is Mr. Moto Agogo, and his birthday is tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure how old he is. I'm sure people in chat will let me know. I'm going to guess 31, but I could be wrong. But regardless, happy birthday, Mr. Moto Agogo. Cool to see you out here doing well early on. Up in second as Tiberino's taking the race lead away from whoever was leading. I forget, but he went down. Somewhere way back there. Cunningham, maybe? Taking a look at other people around. Looks like Edmondson is off the back here, so rough go of it for him. 32 is what I'm hearing in chat for Moto Go-Go. So he was 31, will be turning 32. So the last day of being 31 years old for Moto Go-Go. Let's see if he can't put it in his first career pro national tonight. He's going to have about 3 laps to go, and he just dumps it over the outside rut there. He's going to get passed by Guido and Jack Fowler back to 5th, so he needs to pass one of these 4 gentlemen in front of him. Oh, as Tyler Morin just lands on the back of him. But Moto drifts back to the 5 spot. Only 4 go out of these consolation races. It's basically the same premise as a last chance qualifier that we would see in Supercross, which is 4 laps, top 4 transfer into the main event. This is actually 4 laps, top 4 transfer into the motos, as 36 other riders have already pre-qualified out of the qualifying that was ran from about Monday until an hour before this event tonight. So you'll see those other 36 gentlemen in a little bit, but right now we're taking a look at these 4 guys trying to make it into the moto. Sprinting away at the front. Carlo running in 2nd, Guido 3rd, and Fowler 4th. This is the closest battle we've got on the track right now. And if these two come together, it could pay well for Tyler Morin or Phil Doyon, as Moto Go-Go's drifted back to the 9 spot. Whoa, as JT George front flips his way into the rollers, but immediately has the legs off, so that is no good for him. These guys have actually already opened up a pretty sizable gap now on Tyler Morin, so Fowler could maybe have a fall-off crash. We will see if that even happens, as these guys are running pretty smooth out at the front right now. Tiberino again looking smooth out front, trying to help TBR's cause, as Mr. Race Carlin has joined my channel, but I don't think he'll be speaking tonight, just here to listen in, as he is the race director, wants to know what's going on with the stream, of course, so that's fine by me. But as I was saying about Tiberino, TBR kind of came under shambles, if you will, after Jesse Mullins left the team mid-season after the 6th round. I believe Redbud was the last round that we saw Jesse Mullins on a TBR bike, and he was kind of carrying the flag for the TBR team. We didn't see Jeremy Smith race too often, nor Dominic Tiberino for that matter. Doug Oakley showed up every once in a while. We haven't seen Casey Ohlert all year. But yeah, so Tiberino and Smith, kind of the lone warriors for TBR out there right now, as Jesse Mullins has hopped ship and gone to the Prime Designs Graphics Honda team to finish out the outdoor campaign. And I spoke with Jesse earlier this week about that and asked him what the deal was, and he basically just said he wanted to be on a team where people played all the time, or not necessarily all the time, but at least when he was playing, he had someone else to play with. As I mentioned, Tiberino hasn't been racing that much this year, and when he hasn't been having that much fun. I can tell you that much. Guido launching into the sand. Rollers coming up here. Somehow riding out of that. Fowler. Oh, Morin looks like he might be closing in a little bit. Got the gap down to about 7 seconds. Ooh, Moto Go-Go joining us in chat said he dropped to 10 FPS. Nothing he could do. That is unfortunate for Moto. Really wanted to see him in the motos tonight. It looks like we shall wait for another week. So Tiberino just cruising away out front here. He's got a nice lead over Guido, who's now moved into the 2 spot, so Carlo must have had a mistake. All these guys looking pretty comfortable right now. Person closest to them is Tyler Morin, and he is charging. I also spoke with Morin earlier today. He is not a big fan of this track. Was a little bit frustrated trying to run a lap as Jack Fowler has gone down coming up Mount Martin, and there he is. Took forever to latch onto him. He's dropped back to the 5 spot, so now Morin is in transfer. If he can hang on, and Doyon is coming too on the 144, so Fowler and Morin both not really out of the water here, with Doyon nipping at their heels. Oh, Fowler all the way to the bottom of the hill, and hops back over the rut. Could have elected to go all the way around the outside of the track, but hopped back over the rut, and Doyon had to take evasive action. Now he just clips a tough block. White flag is in the air for your leaders, though. So you can see scrolling across the top of the screen, there will be an updated running order at all times. It's based off of where they hit the timing gates at, so it's basically as if you're watching it in spec mode, like third-person spec mode, but it's with a running order instead. And we're also on a cameras file. And then where it says lap 4, there is currently a white background around it. Normally we would see a green background if it was just green flag in the air. But when it's the last lap, it's a white background. And when the checkers have waved, it'll be a checkered flag with no lap counter anymore. So that is how we keep track of things right here on our live stream. Tiberino cruising out front. Guido has Carlos still closing in, and Warren is trying to hold down this 3 spot as Fowler just goes down in the Millville whoops. That might be the end of his night, unless these two gentlemen also have a fall on this lap. So we'll have to see. Looks like Warren almost looped his Larry in the dreaded whoops, but able to scave off so far the attacks from behind. But Doyon looks like he's coming. Let's see how close Doyon gets on this final lap. Tiberino, Guido, and Carlo all looking pretty good at the front. Should be no issues for those guys, but can Morin hold off Phil Doyon to get into the motos tonight? Just has to ride pretty much a half a lap smooth here as he works his way all the way up to the top of Mount Martin. 250F's getting the life sucked out of him all the way up that hill, especially with those that 5 set of jumps coming up it. 450 guys able to triple double up that, but mostly it looks like 250 guys only able to go 2-2-1, and obviously that kills your momentum when you have to single out of a section coming up a hill. Back up front though, it will not be Tiberino. It looks like Guido is going to go on to win this thing. Or will he? Yes, he will. He saves it, and Swiss Rider's going through to the motos. Tiberino comes through second. Carlo should be good for third, and Morin is maybe just going to hold off Phil Doyon coming down the hill one last time. Will Doyon try anything? He's too far back, though. Might just get close in case cuts become a factor. Only 1.02 seconds behind at the line. Right now, it is Morin who nabbed that final spot. We'll have to see whether cuts factor in. Lee Bradley, Jack Fowler, Cody Branson, Sonny Edmondson, Cortland Knopp, JT George, Alex Cunningham, and Moto Agogo are not going through tonight. Oh, yeah. So let's do a little bit of flying around this track here at Millville. Kind of an overhead bird's eye view of the track, kind of take you around as we wait for official results to come in. It's turn 1 into turn 2, and then a long straightaway towards the farthest end of the circuit here. Little switchback, the famed tabletop, and big single scrub jump, and then right into the Millville whoops. And right here off the side, we've got the Millville whoop monster holding on to his little chainsaw air horn thing going right there. Gotta work your way all the way down the whoops, and you find your way into this corner, make a U-turn underneath the Race Tech bridge there, back down the other side of the Millville whoops, and then you're coming back into the main section of the track with a little rise and a couple turns there, up to the big old Chatapult, where Chad Reed had his famous get-off in 2011, and then up the big uphill step-up triple. Down to the left and drop down back to the base of the valley. Hit this little off-camber corner. Lots of different lines to work with, but most people doing outside a little single, and then guys are triple doubling or double singling up this all the way to the top of Mount Martin. Plateau at the top, turn and get on the gas coming all the way back down this thing. Get on the brakes right before that bump and then come down all the way to the bottom. A lot of rough coming into this corner. Nice little U-turn up into this corner, which is a banked bull corner. Down into here, a little switchback section. Farthest U-turn at the farthest point of the track that's not the whoops. Little rhythm section, 223. Another switchback up into the final hill. A U-turn, and you drop down into a 90 before the finish line, and that is a lap going over the Holy Schmidt jump here at Millville. That's a lap at Millville. Taking a look at the results, looks like Morin was able to hang on to that spot, so it was Morin, Carlo, Tiberino, and Guido going through out of this one, and they will join the 36 other runners that we will announce in just a moment as soon as it pops up on my screen after we get this restarted here. Of course, you can follow along with us as we watch live timing. You can go to racefactorygaming.com/live-timing and follow along with where your favorite rider is, or you can just watch our stream. Their name will always scroll across the top of the screen. But if you want live in-depth update lap times and charts, racefactorygaming.com/live-timing is your place to go. All right, so here we go with the official rundown for tonight's 250 Pro National from Millville, round 8 of the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus-PC.com, and it reads something like this. We got the 784 of Derek Thorpe, the 14 of Jeremy Hinner, 73 of Russ Chapman, 76 of Chase Blakely, the 116 of Jeff Cooper, the 108 of Devin Ryan, the 87 of Phil Bull, the 831 of Colton Mitchell, the 822 of Jake Rose. Sorry, there we go. The 34 of Tyler Lewis, the 919 of Ryan Turner, the 31 of Connor Linz, the 112 of Dominic Saulnier, 212 Jordan Moxie, 29 is Chase DeSalle, 116 Zach Prokop, 264 of Charlie Way, 513 of Fred Heather, the 26 of Brock Pappy, the 641 of Gunnar Fugler, the number 1 defending champion Matt Burkeen, the number 150 Jeremy Cohenauer, 45 Daniel Mills, 660 Zach Ginter, 257 is Alex Carlo, the 17 of Dade Honeywell, the 122 of Zoa Cross, 313 of Bryce Whelan, the 134 of Jonathan Hughes, the 295 of Tyler Morin, the 3 of Dennis Fjellberg, the 788 of Logan Heagney, the 20 points leader on the LaFlame Suzuki, Jarrett Seidhoff, 146 Stefan Guido, 51 Chase Donovan, 23 Kyle Robb, the 80 of Tanner Rogers, the 77 of Dominic Tiberino, the 4 of Jeremy Smith, and last but not least, the 53 of Craig Leake. And that is everybody that is lining up tonight for the 250 Pro National here at Millville. In no particular order, of course, the fastest qualifier on this track, I believe, was Tanner Rogers at a 2:05. You know, Dade Honeywell was also up there as well. Honeywell, after a very rough week last week, won the first moto at Southwick. Then a DNF in Moto 2. Was very frustrated with an altercation on track between himself and Tanner Rogers, I believe, that happened in Moto 2, where he felt Rogers cut over to take him out. Looked like maybe Rogers was just setting up for the next corner. Either way, Honeywell ended up on the ground when he was charging towards the front. Eventually did not finish the race and ends up 45 points back in the championship of Dade Honeywell coming into tonight. So going to be an interesting one. Seidhoff could really open it up tonight with another win. If I am not mistaken, this was also the location for Seidhoff's first career overall victory back in 2012 in the 250 class when he was ripping the number 133 for System Decal. If I remember right, he actually went 2-2 that day to win the overall. So Seidhoff knows this track quite well. Might suit him well in tonight's motos. These guys just kind of working their way through. Pappy, Cohenauer, Hinners making it right into the motos. Jeremy Smith, who, by the way, quick note on Jeremy Smith, we want to give him a shout out because the Ripper 309 on a privateer Honda IRL finished 18th at the Southwick 450 National last week in the second moto. So picked up 3 points in a Pro National IRL. That is badass for a multi-time MX Simulator champion. Finds his way into the points out of 450 Pro National IRL, so well done, Jeremy Smith. Hope to see more out of him. That's the second time in his career that he has scored points internationally. He finished 19th at Budds Creek last year. As everybody's kind of working their way to the finish line right now, and we'll wait for that restart call from race coordinator tonight, Mr. Race Carlin. Looks like Zach Prokop riding a 125 tonight. Just saw Dade Honeywell. Got Ryan Turner in the mix. Tanner Rogers, as I said, believe he was your fastest qualifier for tonight. Logan Heagney. Stefan Guido, just saw him out of the Consi. Zach Ginter, Daniel Mills, Bryce Whelan, Alex Carlo, Matt Burkeen on the 1. Connor Lynn's disconnected, it looks like. Russ Chapman is must have missed a timing gate or something. And I'm on the line in warm-up mode, and Zoe Cross and Dominic Saulnier also disconnected. Taking a look in chat to see if anything's going on. All right, and it looks like we are queuing up for 250 Moto 1 here at Millville. This is the Tag Designs Spring Creek National Round 8, and these guys are set to go and do battle for all of you fine folks here on the live stream tonight. So glad, again, that you guys could join us. Got the first of two 30-minute plus 2-lap motos ready and set to go. And I want to take a look at someone more in the middle. So let's take a look at Gunnar Fugler on the 614. As JLV is off the track, let's go racing at Millville. And the gate is down. Who's going to get that whole shot? Looks like the 53's got a good jump, but it's actually the 219. That is Jordan Moxie. He's going to rip that Ride365.com pole shot with Jeremy Smith right in tow. And the 3 of Fjellberg almost getting pinched off by Craig Leak on the 53. Things already getting kind of shuffled around as Moxie leads the field through the first couple corners. Smith and Leak still side by side with Fjellberg now under attack there from the 23. It looks like Kyle Robb. First we've seen of Robb in the 250 class since, I believe, Glenn Helen. So everybody working their way through the whoop section. Leak going after Moxie. Moxie holding it down as Smith slides out on the outside, so Fjellberg goes down the inside and makes a pass. Just looking at everybody kind of shuffling through here. Lots of chaos. I see a side hop on the 20 in the mix here. He's in about the 12 spot as they get around a downed rider. So Moxie and Leak leading the way here. Fjellberg looking for a way around already on the 3. Moxie trying a very, very far inside line. That looks tough, and it was as Craig Leak goes to the front. 53 Verb Moto Suzuki finds his way to the sharp end of the field already. Moxie taking a low line on the far right side of the track there. Interesting to see that a couple guys are doing that. Fjellberg gets around Moxie for the 2 ride. Coming down Mount Martin, and Fjellberg swaps and he's down. Got a big kick. That hill is unbelievably rough this year, and it looks like Devin Ryan, I think I saw, went flipping with him. There we go. He's all the way buried in the crowd over here. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. I'm surprised that the RF track crew even put crowd there, because they are in a danger zone, man. That downhill is brutal. So, Craig Leak, smooth opening lap, past Moxie for the lead, and he will lead the opening lap here at Millville. Moxie into the 2 spot after Fjellberg went down, and that is actually Chase DeSalle on the 29. Looked like the 23 of Rob, but it's the 29 of DeSalle, so my apologies on that. Moxie, he just went off the track right at the end of the lap here, and he only lost about 3 or 4 spots maybe. Actually back to 8th, so he lost 6 spots. Mitchell, Sidehoff, Jeremy Smith, Tanner Rogers all getting by, so pretty much most of the fast guys that you'd expect to be up near the front are here. No sign yet of Mr. Dade Honeywell. In fact, he hasn't even crossed the line yet. Actually, there he goes, 22nd for Dade Honeywell across the line on the opening lap. So bad starts continue to affect Dade Honeywell's racecraft. When you start back with some of these kind of Spode-ish type people in the 250 class and the 450 class for that matter, you get a lot of heroes trying to win the race on the first lap, and it doesn't go so well. So these guys starting up front want to stay here if they can, not crash and go back into that. It's a good little battle here between, oh, Seidhoff somehow did not fall off the bike and even stayed in front of Mitchell, who had to slam on the brakes not to get into the back of him. It was very lucky for Seidhoff. All these guys real close together as Cell just made a mistake, and now Smith is going to come charging up the hill. Every single one of these guys, I believe, is on the Mason Clendenin Honda. Got a couple different Hondas that we normally see out there. Sometimes we see the J4 Cal Cycra Honda. But a lot of people running the M121C Honda, which was $100 to purchase. Seidhoff already onto the back of Tanner Rogers here. I thought he was going to try to sneak to the inside, but thought better of it. Looking for a way around the number 80 as Smith is going to work on to Cell. And Leak just trying to run away from these guys. This is 2, 4, 5, 6 on your screen here. As Mitchell brings up the 6th spot, then Moxie holding down 7. Great battle up at the front though. All these guys just running in a nice train. Nothing really dirty or aggressive going on yet. It's not time for that. Only a few laps into the race. Lots of time for things to sort out as Rogers launches in to the rollers. Worked out about the same, it seems, as Seidhoff and Smith. And a nice 4-rider train going on here. And Mitchell, as we said, not far off the back. Rogers trying an inside move there is going to have Seidhoff knocking on the back door, but then Smith makes a mistake, so they're all 3 coming up to the catapult together, almost going 3 wide off of it. What a sight that was. Now they might go 3 wide off this. Look at this, 3 abreast almost in the air. Seidhoff just a little bit too far back, but now Rogers might try an inside line here, far inside. Oh, couldn't quite make it work, and Seidhoff is going to get the better of him too, as he pulls alongside, and they're still side by side, but Seidhoff is going to close the door there. Oh, now Rogers getting a drive back up the hill, shuts the door. Seidhoff trying to sneak to the inside and puts him on the ground. They both go down. Rogers was just trying to sneak back into that rut, and Seidhoff was not about to have it, but honestly, he was a little bit too far back to try to make that move, and it ended up costing both of them a little bit of time, but Seidhoff already going after Jeremy Smith again. So Leak sprinting away at the front. Rogers, now Mitchell got around. Well, who did we lose? Somebody else was just up here and has gone way backwards. Where did Chase to Cell go? There he is. So he was just running 2nd across the line last time by, and now he's in 11th, right in front of Jeremy Hinters, who putting in a good start to his moto. Hinters and Fjellberg looking quite similar this week. 2 different machines though. As Fjellberg goes after the 7 machine of Dominic Tiberino, who just made a mistake. Oh, dualies, and Fjellberg landing off the track, has to cross back over, and going straight on off the track. Just drifts around off the edge of the track, comes back on right in front of Hinters. Lost the spot to DeCell. Very interesting sequence of events there. Smith just made a mistake. So Seidhoff into the 2 right, and Rogers right onto the back of him there. Those asking in chat, Dennis Fjellberg is out of Norway. I used to know what city. Oslo. Lives in Oslo, Norway. Fjellberg, a 2014 Race Factor Gaming 250 national champion. Never was able to clinch a 250 Supercross championship in the Race Factor Gaming competition, but is a multi-time European Motocross Federation outdoor and indoor champion, and is the only MXS World Grand Prix champion to date. Obviously, we have the MXS GP series going on right now. EMF putting that on. But 2013 was the last time we had a World Grand Prix championship. That was ran by MXS Central. And Zach Dupuis was your MX1 champion, and Dennis Fjellberg was your MX2 champion there. So these guys continue just to rip at each other's heels. They haven't really lost touch with Seidhoff just yet. In fact, they will get around Seidhoff, who has gone down and is off the track. So Seidhoff had moved up to the 2 spot. He goes back to 6th now and gets on ahead of Devin Ryan, who isn't quite there yet. Tanner Rogers, Yelberg, Tiberino, Hinners. And our first sight of Mr. Dade Honeywell, he's up to the 12th spot. So Honeywell putting on a charge, as we've seen him do many times this year. I think just once he would like to actually get a hole shot, but in a perfect world. Approaching 10 minutes into this first moto, and time is flying by here when you're having fun, as Rogers is still just trying to go after Jeremy Smith. Can't find a way around the 4. Talked about Fjellberg and his RF titles a little bit. Well, Jeremy Smith, 2013 Race Factor Gaming 250 national champion, and 2013 250 West Supercross champion, and 2014 250 East Supercross champion. Has several race victories on a 450, but never was able to put a title together in the 450 class just yet. Still likely one of the greatest MX Simulator racers of all time, as we have lost Rogers as he's gone back behind Moxie and Colton Mitchell, and Seidhoff coming after him again. Remember, these two got together earlier on right here a couple laps ago. Rogers having a little problems there at the bottom of the hill. Let's see if Seidhoff tries a move here. Wants to get by quick, coming down the far inside, hits that inside rut. Does he switch back? Nope. Rogers down the far inside there as well. Seidhoff really closing in. Could get ugly if there's still some hard feelings between these two from that contact earlier, and they're all over Jordan Moxie. Moxie makes a mistake, almost clips Rogers. So Rogers might just be tired of having to deal with Seidhoff right behind him, and he gets around Moxie. Does Seidhoff do the same? Nope, not just yet. Couldn't believe Moxie stayed on 2 wheels. Looked like he was going down for sure. Seidhoff gets into the side of Moxie. Somehow they both stayed up, but Seidhoff really putting some aggressive moves on right now. Obviously, it looks like he had the inside line going in there, but perhaps Moxie didn't expect it. First-person players don't have the opportunity to view either side of them, so if Moxie was a first-person player, he probably didn't see Seidhoff coming. Whether or not he had a spotter telling him, I am not sure. But now Seidhoff has free range to go back after Tanner Rogers if he chooses. They are catching up, rather, to Colton Mitchell. And look at how close Seidhoff is. He is just trying everything here to get around Tanner Rogers. Look at this. Might be pulling alongside here. Rogers with the low line gets a great drive. Is he going to try the inside on Mitchell? No, Mitchell shuts the door, but Rogers is still looking as Moxie is just trying to stay close in case something happens. Seidhoff down the far right side of the track. Oh, he's coming in hot, and he puts Rogers on the ground, and he puts himself on the ground. We said it could happen, and Seidhoff once again comes in very hot. and he's going to get passed by Smith as well. We saw last week at Southwick on the last lap of the race, Seidhoff absolutely cleaned out Colton Mitchell for third, and we then said that, well, he's trying to win this championship, needs maximum points. It's the last lap of the race, and it's in a bull corner. What do you expect? I mean, you can't leave the door wide open if you're Colton Mitchell, but now Seidhoff and Rogers coming together. This could mean some more trouble for Seidhoff if he starts pissing people off. And once again, he will have to get around Jeremy Smith. So right now it's Leak running away with this thing. Mitchell finds himself in the 2 spot. Another good ride for Colton Mitchell up at the front. Moxie is 3. Jeremy Smith in 4th, right where his number is. Oh. And Seidhoff breathing down his neck. Interesting to see here whether or not Rogers lights a fire under his ass and goes and lays down his 205 that we saw in qualifying to catch Seidhoff. Might be a little unhappy perhaps with the moves that Seidhoff has put on so far. They're already lapping the 788 there, Logan Geekney. Seidhoff not able to do anything about Jeremy Smith yet. Just kind of tailing him close. Waiting for a mistake, perhaps. This is our best battle inside of the top 5 right now. Moxie is right on the back door of Mitchell, so this is actually going to close up to a 4-way battle for second here very quickly as Smith and Seidhoff are pushing their way into this battle. Want to mention real quick that Jordan Moxie is, of course, riding for a new team this week, that Relaxa Tires Kawasaki team, which also has Chase Blakely, Devin Ryan on it, and one other gentleman that I can't seem to remember. Most of those guys jumping ship from the Tagger Designs team. We've lost Seidhoff. He was down on the bottom of Mount Martin. Zach Ginter also off the track there, but he's a lap down. So there is Devin Ryan also, Relaxa Tire Kawasaki, new team. Fjellberg also closing up. Things may be spreading out a little bit. Smith still close to Moxie. But let's take this opportunity while we have it to do a top 10 rundown. This top 10 rundown brought to you by Tagger Designs, which is also the title sponsor of this national, the Tagger Designs Spring Creek National. And out front is the number 53 of Craig Leak on the Verb Moto Suzuki, looking for his 2nd Moto win of the year, and he is long gone at the moment. So unless he has some mistakes that prove to be costly, he should be able to wrap this one up. Back into the 2 spot though, Colton Mitchell hasn't even entered the sand whoops yet. 831 Splitfire KTM running strong once again, looked really good at Southwick last week, ended up 3rd overall. This week running 2nd. And holding off Jordan Moxie quite well. So Moxie, rider out of Great Britain on the Relaxa Tire Kawasaki, looking good in 3rd. Going to be under attack here real quick from the number 4 spot and the number 4 machine of Jeremy Smith on the TBR Honda. So Smith trying to close in. Then we find Tanner Rogers on the number 80 versus PC.com Honda. In the 5 spot, he was your fastest qualifier at 205. Trying to stick with these guys. Obviously got together with Seidhoff earlier on, so lit a fire under him. Seidhoff since has crashed and gone back to the 6th spot. So your points leader on the number 20 LaFlame Suzuki is having issues. He's going to catch up to Tanner Rogers very quickly here, so let's go through the top 10 fast. As 7th is Devin Ryan, Relaxa Tire Kawasaki, number 108 machine. Just another solid moto out of Devin Ryan, putting a great season together. 8th spot for Dennis Fjellberg on the 3 ART Reflex Designs Yamaha, and he's got Dade Honeywell on the number 17 Prime Designs Graphics, closing in behind him in the 9 spot right now. So Honeywell putting on a good charge through the field. Let's see how far he can go. And Jeremy Hinters running inside of the top 10 on the number 14 SYS Yamaha. This is by far the best performance we've seen out of Hinters all year. So qualified 31st today, but now running top 10. And that has been your top 10 rundown, brought to you by Tagger Designs. As Jordan Moxie has gone down, he is now behind Seidhoff. And Rogers is closing back up to Jeremy Smith. So Mitchell now all alone in the 2 spot. So can Smith hold off Rogers, who is clearly charging up to the back of him? Ooh, a little off-track usage there. And cuts far inside, leads him to the outside. Really choppy in that section. Very, very tough section if you don't have the correct setup there. It's kind of a interesting mix, as you would expect with Millville, with that kind of soft, sandy base on top and hard packed underneath. Gets real choppy. You have these big sand roller whoops, classic Millville whoops, and some big rollers elsewhere, but you also have the real choppy stuff as well, so it's a very fine-tuned kind of track. You have to have a really good setup as Rogers decides to find SpongeBob, give him a nice big hug, and Sidehoff gets through, as did Moxie. And Rogers looks like he got up just ahead of Devin Ryan. Leak has a big lead right now. Mitchell holds down second. Can Sidehoff maybe reel in Smith for third here again? It's just been kind of a cat and mouse game between these two this whole time, as Smith just made a big mistake coming down the hill, and he is down. It's pretty much just one swap and game over down this hill. It's so steep at the very bottom of it. You get one wrong kick and it's game over. There's no chance. And I saw Smith got one little kick coming down off of it, and it was over. So he falls back in line behind Tanner Rogers, who just fell again. So second fall off in the same lap for Tanner Rogers. That moves Devin Ryan up to the 6th spot. And Dade Honeywell up to the 7th spot. Fjellberg to 8th, yes. So Fjellberg has been passed by Honeywell, but he remains in the 8th spot as he just got by Tanner Rogers. So Honeywell is not far off of these top guys running at the front. Really not far off of the guy he really needs to beat either, Jared Sidehoff. So Smith must have had a crash somewhere. He is now behind Moxie. Oh, Leak! Perfect timing to switch back to the front. He just has a fall off here before the catapult. Coming around that long sweeper. Fortunately, he's got a nice big lead. He can get up and still probably fall off one more time and be just fine, as Race Carlin was just removed from my channel. And Mitchell is kind of all alone now in the 2 spot though, and Sidehoff has an earful from Jordan Moxie in the 3 spot. Smith still lurking in the background as Moxie makes a big mistake before the catapult. That's going to allow Jeremy Smith to close in just a little bit more as they hit the uphill triple. So let's see what Smith can do as he's trying to get around Moxie for the 4 spot. Taking some different lines. Moxie low lining his way up the hill, so he's going to get a better drive to the top. Interesting that there's no timing gate there to prevent those guys from doing that. There's no hay bale either, as Honeywell's trying to get around the outside of Devin Ryan, but Ryan holds the inside line. So Honeywell working the middle of the track all the way down the hill. Still feeds to the far outside. Trying to stay close with Devin Ryan, who again has been fantastic this year, putting in very solid rides. May just be a little bit slower than Honeywell, who is obviously always one of the faster riders every week, and they're getting around a lapped rider there at the top of the hill. Couldn't quite see the number. Yeah, this battle's great though. They're almost touching in midair there. Very synchronized off the jumps, following each other into different lines. Ryan having to deal with a lot of pressure here from Honeywell. Almost got landed on the side there. Honeywell just trying different lines at this point. And Ryan got a big kick, so Honeywell's going to have a great drive trying around the outside here in the whoops. And he's going to get the spot. Nice move, Dade Honeywell around the outside and in the outside in the next corner even. Could have shut the door, but didn't. Ooh, side off. Oh! Almost landed off the side of the track. Trying to do his best Chad Reed impersonation there. Ooh, Moxie with a slide out, so JS4 will get by. Sidehoff already trying to close in a little bit on Colton Mitchell. Next time by, we will give you guys a real good look, though, at just how far the gaps are when Craig Leak goes through the Millville sand whoops. So Leak already over the line once again, on to lap number 12. Leak does not have the fastest lap of the race right now, though. That is held by one Dade Honeywell at a 2:08.1. So here comes Leak into the Millville rollers, and then we will do our lap through the field when he comes back the other way. We will get a good, solid idea on the gaps with everybody here. So here is Craig Leak coming through, getting around the 112 there. That would be Saulnier. That's Carlo 257 and maybe Jonathan Hughes. Those are both a lap down. This should be Tyler Morin and maybe Logan Heagney, I think. Both a lap down. And waiting to see who comes up next. That is Colton Mitchell, followed by maybe Chase Donovan. So Mitchell on 831 coming through right there. That is Zoa Cross on the 122. Then your points leader, Jared Sidehoff, he's running in third. Zoa Cross is 31st. Jeremy Smith holds down the 4th spot on the number 4. And 5th now for Dade Honeywell on the 17, so his charge continues. 219 is 6th, that's Jordan Moxie. This will be 7th, the 108 of Devin Ryan, and then 8th, the 80 of Tanner Rogers. So next up should be Dennis Fjellberg on the 3, and there he is going into the corner with a lapper following him, it looks like. So there's Fjellberg on the 3, and Phil Bull maybe on the 87. And this will be 10th place now, Brock Pappy. He just passed Jeremy Hinners, 10th. Pappy on the 26, Hinners 11th on the 14. 12th place, Rush Chapman on the 73. 13th, Jake Rose, 822. 14th, Derek Thorpe, 784. And 15th, Stefan Guido, 146. 16th would be Chase Donovan, 51. And Gunnar Fugler, 641 is 17th. Is that 18th? No, 18th. That would be Ryan McNichol on the 919. Or sorry, Ryan Turner on the 919 going by. That's 33rd. So 18th coming by now. This will be actually Phil Bull on 18th, and then 19th for DeSalle. And then Tyler Lewis coming back on with Cohenauer for 20th and 21st. 76 of Blakely and the 264 of Way, and 22nd and 23rd. That is the 313 of Francis Heather, the 136 of Zach Prokop, 660 of Zach Ginter. 45 Daniel Mills, 77 Tiberino. And it should be your leader. Yes, it is. Craig Leak comes back through, and that has been a lap through the field. So Leak continues to lead, and his gap is at a 25.9 second clip at the moment. 27 and some change into the Moto right now, so a little bit more than 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go, and Leak well and truly on his way. And looks like the gap has maybe come down. Leak might have had a fall. As you can see, he's going up the uphill right here, and Mitchell will be coming down the downhill right now. So I'm saying that can't be much more than 15 seconds or so. the hill. Honeywell finds himself into the 3 spot. Sidehoff must have gone down because Smith is still in 4th. There is Sidehoff. So Honeywell trying to claw back some points here, keep the championship alive. Still has time to do it. After this, there will be 9 motos left to go, and if it stays like it is right now, he will only be 41 points down in the championship. And remember, he has come from way back to be right here. So a good start next moto could really help out the 17 machine. Oh, and he slides out. Here comes Smith. He has to hop the rut to avoid him. And that causes almost a 3-way battle, but Sidehoff just spun around. And he'll get passed by Moxie once again. So Moxie going back and forth. That is a lapper in between those guys, or actually behind them, I should say. So let's see what Sidehoff does about Mr. Jordan Moxie here. Gotta imagine that these two might get along a little bit, as Sidehoff and the Tagger Designs Derbyers team used to get along. And that team has kind of turned into Tagger Designs / Relax Attire, which now has Moxie and Chase Blakely and Devin Ryan on that team. Oh, Moxie over the berm and down hard. He get past. Yep, Rogers went by. He's still trying to get up. He's facing the catapult, has to get back on the track. Did not get passed by Devin Ryan. Sidehoff once again finds himself all alone, but the battle for third is heating up again. Smith got around Honeywell, we missed it, so now Honeywell has to go back after him. Can the 17 machine make the pass here? Move back into third, at least some crucial points. They're still not that far behind Mitchell, but they're not really close enough to do anything about it. Next time by, the 2-lap board will be out for this man, Craig Leake, who, barring major crashes, should remain out at the front until the end of this moto. So Honeywell really closing in now on Smith, trying to do something about it. I think Honeywell kind of is realizing that Sidehoff is lurking behind these guys, cannot afford to have a fall-off crash. So doesn't want to get too aggressive with Smith, but of course does want to make that pass. They're 12 seconds behind Colton Mitchell. Solid riding for Smith, though, to hold on, and Honeywell looked like he may have had to take some evasive action. That's Zoe Cross on the ground as Mills getting saucy in front of Jared Sidehoff, and then Mills turns into a fabulous lapper and just moves over, lets him through. Tanner Rogers trying to keep touch with Sidehoff, and literally those guys have touched a few times this race. They've probably been going crazy inside their helmet. Everybody was touching everybody with their handlebars. Chase Blakely doing a little humping of the motorcycle as Smith made a huge mistake, swapped coming into the corner, then had it stood straight up, and Honeywell had nowhere to go, went right into the side of him, T-boned him, put him on the ground. It really didn't help Honeywell whatsoever as Sidehoff has been able to close right in. Smith, fortunate to only lose a few spots, ends up right behind Tanner Rogers. So now Honeywell is going to have to deal with some pressure from Sidehoff. Of course, they're not at the moment going to get to Colton Mitchell, nor Craig Leake, who will be taking the white flag next time by. Man, Craig Leake has just been on fire this outdoor season. Really impressed by him and how well he's been riding. He will get the white flag next time by. You'll see at the top right hand of the screen when it clicks on the lap 16. The background will turn into a white flag. Right about now, there we go. Lap 16, white flag in the air. This is the second place man, Colton Mitchell. Honeywell is third. And Sideoff is losing pace with him. Oh, this could get interesting though, with the white flag in the air and Sideoff kind of drifting back into the clutches of Tanner Rogers with Jeremy Smith hot on his heels. These two might be charging up to Sideoff. Someone has got to tell Mr. Sideoff last lap puss. Giggle, jokes. Oh man, Rogers scrubbing, pushing, wants to get back after Sideoff. Maybe pay him back one final time for the instances in which the two riders came together earlier on in this moto. And Smith, of course, lurking right there, hoping they run into each other. Oh, Rogers is looking so good right now. You can sense that he's just going to get to Sideoff here before the end. And Sideoff maybe pushing himself to get up to Honeywell. Keep tabs on where Craig Leake is going up Mount Martin. Oh no! Rogers down and Smith with him also went down. It will not get past, but there goes that battle that we wanted to see. So will Sideoff get Honeywell? That will be the next question, but for now we want to give props to this man. He's on his way to winning his second moto of the year. Won the second moto at Redbud earlier on in the season, actually just 2 rounds ago. But had an abysmal first moto at that round, so maybe looking to turn it into his first overall today. Well, he is well and truly on his way to that one already, as he will come through, and Craig Leake has won Moto number 1 here at Millville. A very solid ride. And here's the battle for third raging on. Honeywell versus Sideoff. Who's it going to be? Sideoff down the inside, hooks the rut and gets it for now, but Honeywell's charging on the outside. Sideoff just shuts the door and they're both down, and nobody's gotten through just yet. Sideoff still trying to get going. Rogers gets by. Let's see if Rogers tries anything funky here, as he will be right on the back of Sideoff now. Might he just throw it up the inside as there's lappers in the way, almost getting into Sideoff. Down to the line, and Sideoff gets third, Rogers fourth, Honeywell fifth, and Honeywell is going to be livid, and he has every right to be. That is just straight dirty racing by Jared Sideoff. There's block passing, there's punting, and then there's cross jumping. And Sideoff went for the latter option there. That is very, very interesting. So Smith ends up in the 6th spot, Moxie 7, Devin Ryan 8, and Fjellberg down before the line, might get passed by Chapman. Let's see. Oh, ooh, Chapman just got it. Fjellberg 10th. Jake Rose gonna come through in 11th. Gunnar Fugler put in a nice charge. He finds his way into 12th, but trying to avoid some lappers that just got together there. Oh, he's down, but not off the bike. Might just hold on. Yes, he will for 12th. Derek Thorpe 13th. Brock Pappy 14th. Chase DeSalle found his way up to 15th with Hinders right behind him. So another battle to the line with Guido right behind these guys. Will Hinders try anything, or may he just file in, try to hope for cuts? As DeSalle almost went off the track. So DeSalle 15th, Hinders 16th, Guido 17th, Donovan 3 points here for 18th, Phil Bold 19th, and Kohenauer slides out, but Charlie Way is down, so Kohenauer is going to get 20th, Charlie Way 21st. So wow, that will be very interesting to see what happens in chat. I will take a look at that while we're on our break here in just a minute and clue you guys in. I'm sure Honeywell will be livid with Sideoff after that one. And Sideoff not making any friends right now. That's not going to be good for him in the championship run. Obviously, he's going for it, wants to win the championship, but cross-jumping, I don't know. You make the call. So as we stand right now without cuts, it is Leake your winner over Mitchell, Sideoff, Rogers, Honeywell, Smith, Moxie, Devin Ryan, Russ Chapman, and Dennis Fjellberg inside of the top 10. We will wait for cuts to come in before we take our break. Let's see who we are waiting on right now, actually. Everybody's finished through here, so 35, 36. Kyle Robb is yet to finish. So we won't give him any love as he's kind of dicking around. So Fred Heather, DNF. Connor Linz, also DNF. Matt Burkeen, DNF. Kyle Robb will finish. Ryan Turner, DNF. Logan Heagney, DNF. Ginter was 34th. Saulnier, 33rd. Cooper, 32nd. Hughes, 31st. Carlo, 30th. Mills, 29th. Whelan, 28th. Cross, 27th. Prokop, 26th. Lewis, 25th. Chase Blakely, 24th. Tiverino, 23rd. Morin, 22nd. And Charlie Way was the last runner not to, or that, sorry, the first runner not to score a point. As soon as the race was done, Dade already went to scream at Jared. All right, cuts are in. And looks like Hender's got to sell on cuts. And that was it. Hender's getting to sell on cuts. So Moto 1 winner is Craig Leake. We will go ahead and take a quick break, but we will be back in just a moment. Don't touch that dial. All right, guys, we are back after our short little break there in between motos. Checking in chat, nothing really interesting going on between the Sidehoff and Honeywell debate. It seems that they figured out all their differences, if you will, in TeamSpeak, so we did not queue in and listen on that one. But yeah, very, very interesting end of that Moto. We'll have to see what happens in Moto 2 now. We are just kind of waiting things out right here. I apologize that we may have just dropped a frame or two. It says on my screen that we just dropped 6 frames. Wow, man. Intense. Although my internet is jumping around a little bit right now, so hopefully it's not too upsetting for you guys. Just floating around. Here, well, let's just take a casual float down Spring Creek while we're waiting. This dirt looks like shit, or this water looks like shit. Going down Spring Creek, and we've got a restart. Moto 2 coming up. All right, what is going to happen in Moto 2? It's going to be very interesting. Let's take a look at Jordan Moxey this time. Whoa, where are we off to? He was the one who ripped the whole shot last time on the 219. Let's see where he might end up this time around, shall we? JLV turns the 32nd board sideways and shuffles his way off the track. It's time for 250 Moto 2. Sit back and enjoy at Millville. And it will not be Moxey this time. Instead, it's the 80. That's Tanner Rogers. But he slides out and takes a chunk of people with him, including Sidehoff. Sidehoff on the 20, also down, as I see Honeywell caught up on the far right side of the track there. A lot of people caught up, and more people down in between there. So out front, Jeremy Smith at the front with his teammate, Dominic Tiberino. 1-2 for TBR early on. Tiberino looks like he may have just tried to go after his teammate. Oh, we got a rider down in the background. It looks like one of the Team Volcom Kawasaki riders. So a good start spoiled immediately. Mr. Race Carlin joins us in chat again, but he is just listening in. Doing a fine job running the race tonight is Mr. Carlin. And these guys are throwing it off the catapult. Look at Fjellberg getting upside down. Devin Ryan. It's basically a style check right here. Russ Chapman, Sidehoff a little bit sideways. Brock Pappy. All right, looks like Jeremy Hinners just rolled the catapult. Moxey, nothing really. Looks like Craig Leake is back here. He got a little bit sideways. Jonathan Hughes, Burkeen got upside down. Phil Bull up, and a bunch of riders down before. So I wanted to point out, take a look at where your Moto 1 winner is, Craig Leake. Way back here. He's with Jordan Moxey back here too. So just as we had thought in the first Moto that maybe Leake was going to have a chance to win today, the overall that is, not the best of starts here in Moto 2. But the best start of them all is going to go to Mr. Jeremy Smith. So Smith leads the field down for the opening lap here of 250 Moto 2. His teammate Tiberino still right behind him, still throwing it. And Fjellberg, I mean, he always throws it. Turner holding down fourth. That's good for Turner. Devin Ryan right in the mix as Guido just lost a spot to Chase Blakely. And maybe Russ Chapman, or not just yet. want to definitely keep an eye on our championship contenders. Kyle Robb under attack from points leader Jared Seidhoff. Kyle Robb will get a warning for sure about incorrect naming convention. Oh, Seidhoff is down and into Spring Creek. And Sony wide open on the 125 sideways, so Honeywell is going to get by Seidhoff. I saw him go through there. Is Hinders going to go by, or is Seidhoff going to come wide open back on the side of the track? Nope. So Hinders gets through and gets around Saulnier. Woo! All three of those guys real close together. Oh, Honeywell just went down, and Seidhoff just barely avoided him. That was close. Oh, look at all four of these guys off the catapult. And Sonny is ringing that 125 out right now. And Seidhoff comes across, shuts the door now. So he's up to 15th, right behind Hinders, who is where his number is, 14th. So Seidhoff trying to far inside line up the hill, but it's not going to work. Hinders holds on to the spot for now. Ahead of them is Zoa Cross, Derek Thorpe, Brock Pappy, Kyle Robin. And check out this train going on right now. Chapman on the back of Blakely and Colton Mitchell in the mix as well. And they're right behind Ryan Turner, and it looks like that is Stefan Guido off the back. As they work their way up to the top the other side of the valley. Dropping back in. I apologize, we are dropping a little bit of frames right now, but it shouldn't be that bad. It's only just maybe give or take 10 frames here and there. It's kind of sorting itself out. I do not want to go off air. I'd like to keep this one solid stream if I can, so just bear with us if you're live. Oh, Chapman jumping off the side of the track. Really working on the back door here of Chase Blakely. Oh, and then Fjellberg was just off the track, so now we got a four-rider battle coming in to the bowl turn between the whoops, and Blakely is now finally going to get undone by Chapman as Fjellberg is working behind these guys as well. Colton Mitchell. How about it for Ryan Turner, though? Really good ride right now. Holding down the 4 spot. Looking smooth, too. He's been able to stay in front of that raging battle behind him this whole time. So Tiberino slipped back into the 3 spot. So up front, it is 4-3. They are 1-2. As it's Smith Fjellberg, but Fjellberg is gone. Oh, that's right. Fjellberg went backwards. That was last time by, so actually it is still Tiberino's second, but he's lost a lot of time to his teammate Jeremy Smith. So Turner is actually third, and he's going to lose that right now, though, as Chapman goes through. Very close battle between those two, though. Oh, and Turner goes down. Chapman cutting across to try to hit the main line, ends up cross jumping. Unfortunate for Turner, he's going to lose a lot of positions here. So all these guys shuffling in. Fjellberg is pretty much repassed everybody. So it's Smith, Tiberino, Fjellberg, Chapman, Blakely, Mitchell, Kyle Robb, Devin Ryan, Brock Pappy, Stefan Guido, Chase DeSelle, Tanner Rogers, Ryan Turner, Jeremy Cohenauer, Gunnar Fugler, and then Dade Honeywell, who looks like he just came across in the 16th spot, so that's where he is right now, 16th. 17th for Fred Heather, 18th for Zoe Cross, 19th for Matt Burkeen, 20th for Tyler Morin, 21st for Derek Thorpe, 22nd for Seidhoff, not in the points right now. Let's see if he goes after Thorpe. try an inside move here. It's not going to work just yet. So Thorpe shuts the door on him. So this could be the big chink in the armor for Sidehoff. Ends up in the back of the field with everybody. He hasn't really had to do this just yet. Finds his way into 21st. Jake Rose is 23rd. Moxie is 24th. Charlie Way is 25th. Jeremy Hinders is 26th. Craig Leak, Moto 1 winner, 27th. So really not the day, rather the second Moto that Craig Leak wanted. Phil Bull is 28th. Zach Ginger 29th. Dominic Saunier 30th. Chase Blakely 31st. Jeff Cooper 32nd. Zach Prokop 33rd. Carlo 34th. Heagney 35th. Mills out of the race. Lewis out of the race. Hughes out of the race. Wheelan, out of the race. And only 39 people started the race today. So let's keep tabs on what's going on at the front, because that's where all the action should be happening. And Smith continues to lead as he clicks on to lap number 5. So Tiberino has Fjellberg and Chapman breathing down his neck. This would be for the 2 spot. Fjellberg had it, crashed, now going after it again. And Tiberino makes a big mistake, so Fjellberg back into 2nd. Chapman now finds himself 3rd. Let's go on board with Russ Chapman here. This will be really interesting to see what it's like to ride behind Dennis Fjellberg, who is characteristically all over the place. There's big whips and stuff like that. So let's see what kind of show we get on the Chatapult here. Oh, Chapman looking for a cheeky inside line, doesn't work. So Fjellberg is going to go upside down on the Chatapult, as is Chapman. Oh, that worked out perfectly. Little scrubber up at the top. Battle for 2nd. Oh, Fjellberg down bottom of the hill. So that happened right in front of us. Tiberino does not get by. Fjellberg holds on to the 3 spot, I should say. Oh, Smith down at the bottom of Mount Martin. And Chapman coming down will not get to him, but Smith did have a big lead, does not have it anymore, so a crash will surely lose him the front spot at this point. He needs to stay on 2 wheels from here. Fjellberg still ahead of Tiberino. Then Colton Mitchell moves up to the 5 spot, so Mitchell trying to make a bid to win the overall today. Kyle Robb in the 6th spot. Devin Ryan is 7th. Rock Pappy is 8th. Chase Blakely is 9th. And Tanner Rogers is 10th. '16th for Dade Honeywell. 21st for Jared Sidehoff. Why is that tree suddenly in the way? That's confusing me. So Sidehoff still not in the points, but so far he doesn't have to worry about that too much, as his main rivals are either right in front of him or behind him in Dade Honeywell or Craig Leak. There goes Sidehop around Guido. That should move him into the 20 spot. Or rather, that would move him into the 19 spot, it looks like. Yes, it does. 19th now for Sidehop, who just ran a 2:08.875 last time, so you think he's fired up. And start going after it with these guys. Oh, to sell. Big mistake right in front of his now teammate, Dade Honeywell. Honeywell trying to sweep around and should take that spot with ease. There we go. Oh, Chase Blakely panic revving on the uphill triple. Ryan Turner still holding his own up here. Looks like Mitchell's gone backwards. He's now 9th behind Pappy and Rogers, who are having a little battle here. Oh, Rogers made that inside line work. Wow. Didn't think it would happen, but able to get that spot on Pappy. Oh, and they changed for the lead. Smith must have gone down again, so Chapman now finds himself at the front. Fjellberg in the 2 spot, and Smith back to 3rd, so that looks like a standard fall-off was probably in order for Smith. He wasn't that far ahead of these guys, and now he's just kind of right with them. Oh, and Chapman down with the lead, so Fjellberg out front. So 3-4 is 1-2. If that makes any sense, as in number 3 is leading and number 4 is in 2nd. Number 1, Mr. Matt Burkeen, is in 14th. And number 2, Byron Downer, no longer races Race Factory Gaming competition. He is too busy trying to lock his hole shot device in with his boot. Oh, and Fjellberg, big mistake. So Smith gets by. Something tells me this battle isn't over yet. Fjellberg already going back after Smith, coming up Mount Martin, trying to scrub down some speed, stay low, keep the power on the ground. All the way to the top as I see Chapman super low lining that single up the hill right there. Fjellberg really looking for a way around, trying some different lines. Battle for the lead continues on. Meanwhile, update on your points leaders. Dade Honeywell has found his way into the 14th spot. Jared Seidhoff in 18th right now. And Craig Leake is in 24th. So pretty much all separated evenly just about. So far, Smith responding quite well to the pressure that Fjellberg has been giving him. Once again, and Smith just edging out Fjellberg here. I don't want to cut away from this battle for the lead because it could get interesting fast here. Fjellberg continuing to just throw it upside down on the catapult every lap and on the triple uphill. Almost came up short just then. Someone pointing out in chat, this is sort of a USA versus European battle going on here. Jeremy Smith, out of the United States, former representative of the United States at the Motocross Simulator of Nations back in 2013. And they race it at Valkenswaard. And the USA lost that day to Team France. And Fjellberg, a member of multiple times to the Norwegian team. Fjellberg actually won a Moto at the 2014 Motocross Simulator of Nations at Kegums. So he has represented his country well before, as has Smith. They finished second that day. Smith was on the team. appears Sidehoff may have gone down as he was 18th. He's dropped back to 22nd again. Meanwhile, Dane Honeywell has moved up to the 12th spot. We'll go and take a look at them in just a second. So this battle's starting to kind of separate away once again. So here's first and second. Third, Russ Chapman. In fact, let's do a Race Tech top 10 rundown. Race Tech suspension, the fine folk at racetech.com. Putting on some great suspension and engine components. They're sponsoring this top 10 rundown, which is led by Mr. Jeremy Smith, TBR's own number 4 Honda machine, 2013 Race Factor Gaming National Champion, being tailed by his successor in that championship, Dennis Fjellberg, number 3 on the ART Reflex Designs Yamaha, the 2014 RaceFactorGaming.com 250 National Champion. 2014, as I said. Russ Chapman right behind these guys in third. The mainline team. Oh, landing off the side of the track, but good save for the 73 who sits in third. Kyle Robb, the number 23 Prime Designs graphics machine, is in fourth, but not for long. Gunnar Fugler goes to fourth on the 641 LaFlame Suzuki. So Fugler putting on a nice second moto, was 12th in Moto 1, now fourth. Kyle Robb is fifth. Here's Dane Honeywell all the way up to sixth. So Honeywell really going to chomp into that points gap as it stands right now. Prime Designs graphics number 17 machine is ripping through the field as he did in the first moto before being taken out on the last lap by Jared Sidehoff. Brock Pappy sits in 7th on the number 26 Splitfire KTM, and he is hounded by his teammate on the 831 Splitfire KTM, Colton Mitchell, who's putting 2 solid motos together again today. Running behind them in the 9 spot is Devin Ryan on the Relax Attire Kawasaki, that new team that we talked about earlier in the show this week. Right behind him is Jeremy Kohenauer on the TM Factory Racing machine, holding down the 10th spot, looking so good, and that's been a Race Tech top 10 rundown. Racetech.com. Burkeen 11th, Rogers 12th, Tiberino 13th, Morin 14th, Thorpe 15th, Turner 16th, Guido 17th, Blakely 18th, Moxie 19th, and Sidehoff 20th. But he just got a spot, might be another spot. Gonna come slinging across on Chase. Blakely's gonna launch way down the hill. Oh, and he kept it together. Wow, so 2 spots up to 18th for Sidehoff. But as we said, with Honeywell way up in 6th right now, that's just no good for Sidehoff in the points haul right now. And Honeywell just got by his teammate Kyle Robb, so up to 5th now. Bugler, a little mistake. Now he's going to have Dane Honeywell chomping at his heels here in a minute. So this will be for 4th if Honeywell can get it. Back up front, it is Fjellberg now leading the way, so we've had a change for the lead. The veterans, if you will, going at it right now. Both of these guys winning racers in 2012. And of course, both champions in their own respect as well. Fjellberg, a multi-time European champion, Supercross and Motocross. Jeremy Smith, 2-time 250 Supercross champion and 2013 250 RF National champion. Race Factor Gaming, basically the American series, if you will. It's sort of like the AMA versus the FIM, where EMF would be serving as FIM, or not necessarily FIM, but rather the European side of things. Battle continues to go on at the front. Chapman starting to lose touch, and Honeywell is up into the 4th spot. And you know what? He just might be able to smell a victory in this thing. We'll update you on the gaps right now, actually. We will, let's stick with this battle for the lead one more lap and see if it heats up at all. No, you know what, never mind. Fjellberg leads on the 3. 4 of Smith is in second. 73 of Chapman is in third, so the top 3 have definitely broken away. They're kind of in their own league right now. Honeywell is coming. This should be the, I really can't tell, 117 maybe of Jeff Cooper? Next up, Honeywell. So here is the 17 ride in fourth. Behind him, Saulnier, who is a lap down. And that'll be fifth of Gunnar Fugler on the 641. This is sixth, Kyle Robb on the 23. And it'll be seventh, Devin Ryan, and eighth, Tanner Rogers, and ninth, Brock Pappy. That is 10th, Matt Burkeen on the 1. 11th, Jeremy Cohenauer on the 150. 12th, Colton Mitchell, 831. 13th, Derek Thorpe. 14th, Sidehoff, 20. There he goes. So 15th, Ryan Turner. 16th, Jordan Moxey. 17th, Craig Leake. So everybody up into the points that needs to be at this point. 18th, Chase Blakely. 19th, Jake Rose. And 20th, Tyler Moore. And 21st, Dominic Tiberino. And next up should be 22nd, Stefan Guido. There he is. 23rd, Jeremy Hinters on the 14th. So finished 15th in Moto 1. Not scoring points right now, but still a good day for Hinters. This will be a lap down for Logan Heagney. Next up will be Chase Dunavant. He occupies the 24 spot. And 25th will be Phil Bull on the 87. And will we see Alex Carlo or Dennis Fjellberg next? That will be the question. It'll be Fjellberg. Fjellberg with Smith still hot on his heels, so we did not miss a single bit of that battle. As Chapman's still right behind him, and that has been a lap through the field here in 250 Moto 2 at Millville. Oh, and Fjellberg just went down, so Smith takes over the lead. And these guys have just been seesawing. Which of these two past champions wants to win this moto, or will it be a breakout moto win for Russ Chapman, who is just right on these heels? Again, those guys low-lining. Chapman really low-lining it, though. Oh, Fjellberg, a mistake at the top of the hill, and then when he comes back, Chapman gets into his back wheel. Kind of incidental thing. I don't know if Fjellberg really expected himself to catch like that. So it's evened out among the top 3 at this point. Smith. Oh, Fjellberg just went down, so he was right at the front, was leading, and just coughed it up. So Chapman into second. Could be down to Smith versus Chapman coming to the end of this one here. 26 and a half or so minutes in. Wow. 257, Alex Carlo just smashed over Fjellberg, who got stuck in a SpongeBob. Fjellberg is going to be pretty much out of the moto win chance for this one at this point. But he will be under attack soon from this guy, Dade Honeywell. So Fjellberg going to try to pass Alex Carlo, who he just came together with. And there he goes. Honeywell 4th, Fugler 5th. Robb 6th, Brock Pappy 7th, Rogers 8th, Cohenauer 9th, Devin Ryan 10th, Colt Mitchell 11th, and Sidehoff is up to 12th. So Sidehoff was 3rd in Moto 1, and because he took out Dade Honeywell, Honeywell came home in 5th. So Sidehoff had opened up the points gap to 49 points. As they run right now, Sidehoff will pick up 9 points, whereas Honeywell will pick up 18 points. That's an 9-point swing. The gap will be down to 40 points with 8 motos left to run. if they stay like this. Of course, Sidehoff still has some time to perhaps get a couple people in front of him, as does Honeywell. He could still get Dennis Fjellberg if Fjellberg keeps having mistakes. That is where we stand at the moment in the points in this class. And Craig Leak, by the way, an update on him, he is 13th, so he's right behind Sidehoff, coming through the field with him. Probably doing a better job of it, as Sidehoff has taken a long time to get there, but Leak came from as far as 30th to be 13th right now. Ooh, look at this. Honeywell basically cutting the track there. Has Fugler knocking on his back door, so Fugler closing in. Things still could be interesting for Honeywell. Oh, here's Sidehoff going after Mitchell. They got together last week at the end of the Moto. Let's see if Sidehoff gets aggressive here. He launches down the hill and somehow wrangles it together to make the pass. That's a very nice move. So he is now up to 9th. So just like that, he wrangles back 3 more points. The gap would be 43 points after this one. He's got to be careful. If he has a fall off here, he will just lose all those spots once again. Taking a look back, and there is Craig Leak. So Leak, as we've already mentioned, putting on a very good charge through the field right now. But he's going to have to come even further as he goes down at the bottom of Mount Martin. I've already said it before on the stream, one kick and it's over. There is no saving one kick coming down that hill. You have to go straight and narrow or it's over. Oh, and Chapman's taking over the lead. What happened to Smith? He's back to 2nd, and next time by, these guys will be getting the 2-lap board. And let's see, can Chapman maybe sneak up here and win his first ever Moto? Oh boy, what a breakthrough that would be for Rush Chapman on the 73. As we said, 2-lap board will be out next time by. Is Smith going to be able to put on his charm like he's always done? Late race charges. Very, very smooth and technical rider, very calculating. You might just pick apart Rush Chapman here. Oh, but that's not going to help. Little mistake going up the hill there as he's trying to get back on, and he's got a lapper now in front of him. That is Jake Rose on the 822, and he's just going to scooch off the side of the track and get out of the way. 2-lap board is out, and Chapman has about a 5-second lead to work with. Fjellberg still sits 3rd. Honeywell is still 4th. Fugler 5th. Rob 6th. Rogers 7th. Happy 8th. Mitchell 9th. And Sidehoff has gone back to 10th. So Mitchell got him. Now Sidehoff is going to try to get back around him all the way around the outside here. Look at that. Mitchell just kind of, he's in the wrong spot on the track, if you will, there. A little bit too far to the right for how much the braking bumps have been affected there. That's about as far as Sidehoff can probably hope to get his 9th, if he stays there for that matter. Boy, would it be interesting, though, if he got all the way up. Oh, and Smith is taking the lead away from Chapman, so Chapman must have had a mistake. It'd be very interesting if Sidehoff got up to Tanner Rogers before the end of this moto, maybe got a taste of his own medicine. Not sure he will be able to do that. So Smith has a lap and a half to go to win this thing. As long as he can keep that gap ahead of Mr. Rush Chapman, or rather, could Fjellberg break through and still win this thing? He's not far off the back of these guys just yet. Fjellberg still trying to keep things close. Smith down with the lead, and he takes somebody else with him, so Chapman sneaks by on the inside, and the white flag will be out next time by. These guys are just handing it to him at this point. So now Smith and Fjellberg are both going to have to go to work. Russ Chapman, time to tighten the sphincter, son, and go after it. Can you win your moto or can you not? And they all have to worry about Honeywell at this point, who is still charging up from behind. White flag in the air, Chapman bike humping. He wants this so badly. 14 years young. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that said Chapman wouldn't have this in him. But he's about to prove those doubters wrong right now if he can hold on. But Fjellberg and Smith are pushing each other. They have not let Chapman go just yet. Chapman really has to work this one out here. Looking smooth, but these guys are coming. And as we said, Honeywell not there, but there in the background. So it's anybody's guess who could still win this thing. Chapman is not going the same speed as these guys. These guys are coming real fast. They could theoretically get to him by the end of the lap. Oh, Fjellberg has gone down, and he may lose a spot to Honeywell. Oh, they come together in there. Oh, Honeywell is down. Fortunately, he is going to stay where he is, but Fjellberg is going to hold on to third as Smith is still trying to go after Chapman. This is going to be oh so close. Chapman is trying to hang on. Coming down Mount Morris one last time. Chapman smooth right on the edge of the track, looking very, very smooth. Smith through the rough, very clean. Look at him charging. He's so close. He can almost taste it. It's going to come down to these last few sections who is going to get it the cleanest. And it could still come down to cuts, remember. All right, Chapman, 3 corners to go. Gets around the downrider of Donovan there. Smith charging. Look at how close he's going to get here. Up to the top of the hill. There's a rider on the inside run. Smith right behind him. Chapman down into the final section. 1 corner to go. Russ Chapman has won his first career Race Factory Gaming Moto, and Smith has gone down right before the finish, and he's stuck in a tough block. He will resort for second. Fjellberg third. Wow. And Honeywell oh so close at the end, but will settle for fourth. Fugler, a very solid day, going 12.5. Rogers should hold on to 6th over Kyle here, but let's see, coming to the line. Doesn't look like anything is going to be doing here. It looks like Rogers is going to hang on to that spot. Oh, Kyle got close. Pappy, 8th. Sidehoff, wow, actually did get kind of close to Pappy, but is going to settle for 9th, it looks like. Or will he? He just went down. Coming down the hill, Mitchell right behind him. An opportunity for Mitchell to pay him back for last week. So close, but just not enough. 10th place for Mitchell. Could still come down to cuts there. Konauer, a solid ride in 11th. Thorpe, 13th, but not there just yet. Devin Ryan right behind him. Moxie and Blakely also right there. Ryan looks like he might just cruise it in. There we go. 12th and 13th, Moxie 14th, Blakely 15th, Craig Leake. Almost the exact same day that he had at Redbud where he went 14-1. Goes backwards today, he's gonna go 116. So your Moto 1 winner, very rough go around in Moto 2. No idea where the overalls are today either. That is a tough one to call. Craig Leake for the 16th, not gonna do it. Jeremy Hinners ends up in the points, so 2 point scoring motos, 15-17 for Hinners. I'm sure he'll be excited about that one. Morin also in the points in 18th, so went through the LCQ, or the Consi rather, and gets in the points in Moto 2. He'll be psyched on that. Ryan Turner, a good ride to get 19th. Couple points for Turner. And Donovan 20th, so that is it. Cuts are in. Jeremy Hinner is joining the channel, and it looks like Rob got Rogers, but that was it. Chapman hangs on for the Moto win. And wow, what a 250 day at Millville. Hinner's coming in with a 15-17 performance. Not too shabby, my friend. Oh, he's shabby.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, second Moto could have been a little bit better, but, you know, it happens.
I hear you, I hear you. All right, guys. Well, this man is going to take over the 450 stream for y'all. Thanks for joining us for the 250 stream. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back in just a second for the 450 races here from Millville. We'll catch you guys in a sec.